Hi everyone. I literally just walked in the door from the airport. I just got back from the Chicagoland area where I was visiting my family for the holidays, and I've been meaning to make a video about positive affirmations for a number of weeks. I kept thinking, as soon as I finish X, then I'll do it, or someday after this happens. And the thing is that someday never comes. And as soon as you finish one thing, then there's another thing to finish, and it keeps getting put off and off and off. So I'm here now, seizing this moment to talk to you a little bit about positive affirmations and the language that you use to talk to yourself. Everything's always in divine timing, and actually, like, right after I thought, oh, I should talk some more about positive affirmations, I had like a really intensive few weeks of using a lot of positive affirmations. So I'm excited to tell you about that and to share some tips and my take on everything, and see what you all think and if you find it helpful. So Louise Hay, who I adore and kind of have been just like living and breathing these past few weeks, has written a number of really great books about positive affirmations and how they can heal your body and change your life. And they're really great. I've been reading them, I've been listening to them on Audible, been learning so much from her lately, and it's been really, really great. And one of her lectures I was listening to, she said something that I thought was very profound that I hadn't considered before. And that was, we always think of affirmations as, positive affirmations. And they're these good, nice things we say about ourselves to make them become true, or, to boost our confidence and make us feel better. And Louise Hay was explaining that actually an affirmation is anything that you tell yourself. It doesn't have to be positive. Which is why it's important to learn to be really mindful of the language that you're using to speak about yourself and others too, but really especially to start changing your life and your interactions with the world. Start with how you're speaking to yourself. So if you say something like, oh, I'm so stupid, and that's something that I say many, many times a day, and every time I say that, I'm affirming, like, oh, I'm so stupid. And even things like when you're experiencing a lot of stress and you're talking to your friend about it, or a coworker, or you're talking to yourself about it, and I'm so stressed. You're affirming that you're so stressed. And I want to make a distinction here, because it's okay to feel stressed and to feel stupid or tired or whatever other way that you might be feeling. All okay. And definitely acknowledge the way you're feeling, and try not to judge yourself for it, and just, note that that's how you're feeling. However, what I think would be wonderful is that you don't then, tumble into this trap of negative self-talk. So I've honestly started to, when I'm feeling stressed and someone asks me how I'm feeling, I actually think in my head, like, oh, I really don't want to say I'm feeling stressed, because that's just going to affirm that I'm stressed, and then I will become more stressed. So I'll say something like, I'm learning how to get a lot of things done right now. Just some twist on words, and it takes forever, and not to discourage you, but it's a practice, and it's something that you'll work on for a really long time. And there is a book that I read by Danielle Lepore called The Desire Map. And she had this quote that I saved on my phone, because I feel like this is like I saved years ago, but it's really great. So what I like about it is it's a quote that I feel like really captures, acknowledging the way you're feeling, but then trying to put a positive spin on it, so that instead of getting trapped in that feeling of sadness or stress or anger, you can let it go. So what she says is, when you're jammed up or feeling hopeless or blind with rage, play the desire card. I desire harmony. Confidence, please. Freedom, thank you. And I love that. And the idea is that, you're feeling a certain way. So you're feeling hopeless, right? So I feel hopeless. So if I'm feeling hopeless, what I'm experiencing a lack of, is maybe confidence. So instead of saying like, I feel hopeless, I can say, you know what, universe, more confidence, please. Please send some confidence my way. Or if you're feeling sad, happiness, please. Like, I desire happiness. I want to feel happy. And just putting that out there and setting that intention, I feel like is a really beautiful, easy way to turn some emotions that have you feeling down and low around, just making that tiny shift so things can get better. And those are tiny shifts that you can make with your language, and just keep practicing and just really listening, to what you say after I am, and paying attention to whether you're using positive words or negative words, and what could you say differently to start feeling more positive about yourself and your life. And the idea is, and this is something that I really believe, is that your beliefs create your reality, and you can't control all of your situations, and you can't control how people treat you or what they decide, but you can control how you react to it and what you're going to learn from it and how you're going to respond and move on. And so I find that really empowering, and to move from that spot is really great. So for the past 2 weeks, Louise Hay has this great book, You Can Heal Your Life, and you can look up some of the affirmations online too. As you know, if you follow me, I have some health struggles. Everyone has some health struggles. One of my major ones is migraines. So I was really excited to read Louise Hay's books, because she traces any physical ailment or mental health issues, depression, anxiety, things like that, back to negative thought patterns that you have in your brain. And then you learn these affirmations to say to heal yourself. And for some of you, that's going to sound totally crazy, and that's okay. A couple years ago, it sounded totally crazy to me too. You are where you are. But a couple of you, this will sound appealing, worth a shot, right on. That's fantastic too. So I had a migraine for something ridiculous like 2 months, a 2-month-long migraine. Yeah. And it was really starting to get me down. And I was just feeling really like hopeless and trapped, and just thinking like, oh my God, am I going to be in this pain every day for the rest of my life? How am I going on to do these great things if I'm stuck with this migraine? Like, oh my God. So I'm going down this kind of negative spiral. And I saw a quote from Louise Hay, and I was like, oh my gosh, Louise Hay, gotta go look up her affirmations. So one of the things that can cause migraines is pressure and kind of the push for perfectionism. And if you know me, that is not a stretch to see how those would apply to me. And so I read about migraines. I was listening to her audio tape on migraines. And the affirmation for healing migraines is, I relax into the flow of life and let it provide all that I need easily and comfortably. Life is for me. So on a Tuesday, not this past Tuesday, but the Tuesday before, I just decided that I'm healing my migraines. I'm going all in on the affirmation things, and I'm getting rid of it, because I'm, confidence, happiness, health, please, I'm ready for it. So I started doing that affirmation on repeat. And there are other things you can do too that I can talk about some other time, like aura clearings and healing meditations and yoga, and I do all those things too. But this affirmation was really, I think, what shifted things for me. So all day Tuesday, I'm saying this affirmation, and I have it posted everywhere. And every time I start to, think about the pain in my head or feel a little twinge of pain in my head, I just start with the affirmation, just repeating it over and over and over and over and over again. And by Thursday, my head had stopped hurting for the first time in literally 2 months. And I was feeling really good. And I actually have not had a migraine for the past almost 2 weeks now, which is a record in recent history. And that affirmation's still in my mind, and I reach for it when I start to feel a pain in my head. I go to that affirmation. And I was actually telling my mom last night at dinner, I'm really excited because there's always something you can be working on. And what I love about these affirmations is I feel like I have this migraine one down. Not that I won't get tested with it, I'm sure I will. But now I can move on to something else. I struggle a lot with anxiety. So looking up the affirmation for anxiety and repeating that and learning that and having that to reach for when I'm struggling, I'm super excited about it. I think it'll be great. I'm feeling better already, and I look forward to feeling even greater. And the one thing I want to leave you with that is super simple, this is also from Louise Hay, is that it all kind of comes down to, at the end of the day, just affirming that all is well. And I have that. It's in little kid bracelet beads on my wrist. It says all is well. There are lots of affirmations that are very long. I would love to have them on my wrist, one by five, but all is well is perfect. It's a great affirmation to start with. And you're just thinking very simply and honestly, kind of pretty rationally, logically, like you are here, your heart is beating, you're breathing, you're thinking, you're feeling, in this moment, all is well. And there are honestly some days where I sit and it's like, all is well in this moment, all is well in this moment, and just that's what it takes to get through a couple minutes or hours or days, just reminding yourself that all's well. It's all getting, Erin Strutland, who does workouts combined with affirmations, which is incredible. I'll post a link to her. I love her. But, she has one that's, it's all getting done. It's all working out. And just reminding yourself that. And I think that the key with affirmations is, and to using them successfully, is if you're starting down here, you're kind of low and having a really hard time, don't expect to do a 180 and all of a sudden be can't even see my hand, affirming things that are way up here. That'd be a really big jump to make. So instead, if you can just reach for the next highest thought or the simplest thing you can affirm that is true, even if everything is, this has happened in my life, I've had a surgery that went horribly wrong. I'm stressed out at work, maybe in a fight with someone in my family, and just things kind of seem like they're all going crazy. But in that moment, even in that moment where I'm like, oh my God, my life is a mess, I can still sit there and say, I'm safe. I'm breathing. All is well. This will pass. Just really simple things that you can affirm. And I love the all is well. And there's a lot of other affirmations about loving yourself and loving where you're at and trusting life. And I think those are really great affirmations that you can reach for too, because they don't require as big of a challenge to your current belief system. I think that, the key to shifting your mindset is to really recognizing where you're at and what you believe. And you believe what you believe, and it's all okay. And so you recognize where you believe and you don't judge it, but you start to think, what small shift can I make to believe something that's going to improve my life and make things better and happier? So I hope this was helpful. I know it was kind of long. I just kind of got talking and kept going. But if you have any questions about affirmations or want resources, I'm going to post a lot of links. And Louise Hay is the go-to lady for that. I absolutely love her. But I really encourage you to start off this week, choose an affirmation. You can choose one from Louise Hay. You can make your own. There are really no rules, except for I will set one rule. Make it a nice affirmation about yourself and something that you actually believe is true. So maybe it's, I love myself, or, all is well. Something like that. Just keep it simple, and then you can build your way up, and I will be right here building with you. Have a great week.